When making picture frames, it's fairly common practice to glue the frame together, then use a rabbiting bit to round out the inside back edges for the glass, the art printer photo, and the backer piece. But that leaves you with these rounded corners that need to get squared up. How do you do that? Well, it's a chiseling technique, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through the process. The first step in removing these rounded corners left by the router bit is to mark them, so you'll know just how much material you need to remove. Using a combination square, draw two layout lines that connect adjacent edges of the router cut together to form square corners. Now, to remove these waste areas, you're going to need a bench chisel that's wider than these curves. I'm going to be using a 1-inch wide bench chisel here, and it has to be sharp to cut the wood fibers cleanly. But a sharp chisel is also a safer chisel to use because you won't have to apply as much force to cut with it, and less force means fewer chances for accidents. To sharpen my bench chisel, I'm using a Tormek T-4 sharpener equipped with Tormek's coarse and fine diamond wheels. These diamond wheels enable you to sharpen the flat top bevel of bench chisels on the side of the wheel using the company's MB100 multi-base attachment. Side grinding like this isn't safe to do with ordinary aluminum oxide grinding wheels on a high-speed grinder because the wheel can shatter. But on these wheels, the diamonds are anchored with nickel to a steel core that runs perfectly true. There's no danger of fracturing or shattering the wheel. And Tormek's slow-speed, wet sharpening action keeps the tool steel cool, so there's no risk of the cutting edge losing its temper. Now that my chisel's razor sharp, I can get to work cleaning up these corners. And here's what you do first. Set the flat back of your chisel into the corner like this. So part of it is resting against the flat router cut here, and the rest of it can extend all the way over into the corner. Now, push down and roll the chisel like this. What you're doing is scoring this layout line so you know where the blade needs to be registered. Do the same thing to the adjacent layout line. Now set the chisel back into one of these score lines and give it 2 or 3 good raps with a mallet. Then switch to the other score line and deepen that one too. But don't go too deep at this stage. If you keep pounding, you can actually start to drive the chisel in the wrong direction. All we want to do is establish the start of a square corner and work straight down. Carefully chisel away this first shallow layer of waste from the corner. Use paring cuts and hand pressure only, being careful to remove only the material down to the depth of your score lines. This gives us a bit of a backstop for the chisel and starts the squaring process down into the corner. Now hammer the chisel deeper into the wood, this time along both score lines. Aim to remove about 1/8 of an inch of material on this go-around, chiseling away the waste the same way you did initially. Depending on how deep you route the recess in your frame, it'll usually take 3 or 4 rounds of this chiseling process to get all the way down to the bottom of the routed area. And when you get to the bottom, flip the chisel over so its beveled face is down to pare away the last of the waste. This way it won't cut any deeper, but will just help to flatten the bottom so it looks like this. Now, chisel the other 3 corners the same way. Squaring up corners is a bread and butter chiseling technique you'll use again and again for frame applications like this, on hinge mortises, stop dados or grooves, and more. With a little practice, this will be simple, but there's no denying that the sharper the chisel, the easier the process will be. To learn more about Tormek's T4 sharpener and diamond stones, as well as Tormek's full line of sharpening products, visit tormek.com, rockler.com, or a Rockler store near you. I'm Chris Marshall with Woodworkers Journal Magazine and Rockler, and thanks for watching.